Hello everyone, this is News Reporter Jack reporting to you live from Harlem, New York. And today we're asking the question because school is about, some people it's a week away. Others we're going to be starting in about 2 weeks. So we're asking the question, there's a new student called HBCU. And do you know the student? No? Well, we're going to find out who the student is, HBCU, and we're going to find out, HBCU, who are you? So, we want to know who is the HBCU. Now, that's a very strange name for a student, but we're going to find out. Oh, also, we're going to... do you have some news? Okay, everyone. Just stay tuned. We're going to find out just who HBCU is. I get a little excited about the news. You'll have to forgive me. Hello everybody. I'm Youth Pastor Emmanuel, and as always, I'm always failed to be introduced. But anyway, I'm Youth Pastor Emmanuel, and today we're going to be talking about HBCU, who are you? It actually means historically black colleges and universities. I'm surprised. News reporter Jack's a very well-educated man, and he doesn't know what an HBCU is. Oh, boy. Well, as you know, school's just weeks away, and for some people, it might be just 1 week away. But today, I wanted to talk to you about Matthew 11, chapter 11, verses 28 through 30. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." Now, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Alright? Now, Jesus spoke about a lot of things there, and he spoke about 3 things that we want to just talk about briefly. And one is yoke. A yoke is something that you place on a calf when you're trying to help the baby calf learn something. Now, it's usually a stronger calf or a stronger cow or, an ox basically is pulling something, and they put something on them called a yoke. Now, the yoke is designed to help the calf be able to learn and pull everything along. But the big ox actually is doing all the work, and the calf is like walking along. Now, Jesus said his burden, and that was referring to all the religious rules that the religious leaders placed on people. They were very hard to follow, and for most people, they could not even keep all the rules because there were so many. So people were never allowed really to have a close relationship with God unless they perfectly followed the rules. But Jesus wanted to give them rest. That means to stop the movement in order to recover from work. You know, if you're an athlete and you work real hard, sometimes you need to rest. And that's what summer's for. We take a rest during the summer so we can be ready for the new school year, because teachers are ready for us and eager to teach us. So that's why we take a rest. And that's what the summer's for. So we can rest and gather ourselves. Now, Jesus said he wants people to learn from him. And he says, when you learn, that means you're going to increase your knowledge about God, and learning helps us establish new skills. Now, when it gets down to HBCUs, you got to understand. Remember I talked about the big cat, the big ox, and there was a yoke on them. Well, when you go to college, what happens is it's like you put on a yoke. That's what the classroom is for. Now, your professors are like the really knowledgeable teachers, and they try to help you and teach you something different. So that's kind of like having a yoke on you. Now, when you take a rest, that means we take a break from the class, but usually our rest in college involves studying. The same thing happens in school. Your teacher, who has a lot of knowledge, is trying to get their point across and trying to help you as a student. And when we rest, we go home, we can eat dinner, and we can do our homework to make sure that reinforces what we learned at school, because it's really important. Now, we go to school to learn, and that's what Jesus was talking about. When we learn, we gain knowledge, and when we gain knowledge, that means we're going to learn a skill, and that's going to help us in life. HBCUs are institutions in which young people learn new skills, and sometimes older people too can learn new skills, and it also are institutions that African Americans establish in their communities. Educational communities were started to give African Americans a chance to live and also to live out their fullest potential. Professors at HBCUs help, like I said, young people, or help people gather their education, and this will help them with their schools, with their skills. I said schools. Can you believe that? Now, when you go to college, or even when you go to school, it is important to take a rest, because like I said, that's what summer's for. But today we're going to learn about a guy. His name is Reggie, and he's new to our neighborhood. Now, if you see Reggie, I understand that he hangs out with somebody called the bad guy, but we need to find out just what Reggie's doing. Yeah, because he's a new kid. He's supposed to start church too. Well, hi, boys and girls. My name is Professor Howard Beauregard, and I want to ask you a question now. Now, I understand in a few weeks, and school starts all over again. But wouldn't you like to have a place where you can just go someplace, not learn anything, and just grow up and not know anything? Just have fun the whole day long. Well, I'm going to try to help a young man. His name is Reggie. I'm going to make sure he doesn't go to school and he stays around and doesn't know nothing. Hey, all he's going to do is have fun all day. I think that's a good idea. Don't you? Reggie's hanging out with the bad guy. Okay, I know. There's a new kid. His name is Reggie. And you know what? Reggie said he's not going to school. He hangs out with somebody called the bad guy. And the bad guy does bad things. But, you know what? Me and my cousin Adela Ray, we always go to school. As a matter of fact, this whole summer I've been learning about African American history and my African American heritage. It's been kind of fun, but we gotta get ready so we can go shopping for school, and let's see what's going on. I think Reggie hangs out at the basketball court. Oh, hi, my name is Reggie, and I just plan on not going to school this year. As you can see, I'm going to hang out with the bad guy and play basketball all day and be the best basketball player in Harlem. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. It's a good idea, right? You can say right. Oh, hello everybody. This is Officer Calvin, and I'm out here on patrol at the park. Just wanted to stop by because I saw that there's a new kid. His name is Reggie. He's hanging out with the bad guy. I need to talk to him, but I also want to talk to him about education. Now, after African Americans, we have something called HBCUs, that's historically black colleges and universities, and they are institutions of higher education in the United States that were established before the Civil Rights Act of 1964 with the intention of serving African American students. Most are in the southern states of the United States and were founded during the Reconstruction era, and that was from 1865 through 1877, following the American Civil War. Their original purpose was to provide education for African Americans in an era when most colleges and universities in the United States did not allow African American students to enroll. During the Reconstruction era, mostly historical black colleges were founded by Protestant religious organizations. This changed in 1890 when the U.S. Congress passage of the Second Morale Act, which required segregated southern states to provide African Americans with public higher education schools in order to receive the Act's benefits. And well, I'm not going to get into the Morale Act right now. Separately, during the late 20th century, either after expanding their own, and this was either after expanding their own exclusion of black people and African Americans into their institutions. In other words, people didn't want African Americans to attend their colleges or institutions. And what happened was there came a situation where you had something called PBIs, that was predominantly black institutions, because there was a lot of segregation going on. For a century after the abolishment or the abolition of American slavery in 1865, almost all colleges and universities in the southern states were prohibited. They prohibited African Americans from attending their schools, and this was required because they had Jim Crow laws in the South. While institutions in other parts of the country regularly employ quotas to limit admissions of African Americans, HBCUs were established to provide more opportunities for African Americans and largely responsible for establishing and expanding the African American middle class. In the 1950s and 60s, legally enforced racial segregation in education was generally outlawed in the South and anywhere else in the United States. And other non-discriminatory policies were adopted. These 107 HBCUs as of 2026 in the United States, 121 institutions that existed during the 1930s, representing 3% of the nation's colleges, including public and private institutions. 27 of them, they offer doctorate degrees. This is what they offer. 27 doctoral programs, 52 master's programs, 83 offer 83 Bachelor of Arts programs, and 38 associate degrees. And this is something you can receive at HBCUs. Currently, they produce 20% of all the African American college graduates, and 25% of the African American STEM education or STEM graduates. Among the graduates of HBCUs are Martin Luther King Jr., Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall, American film director Spike Lee, the former Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, and the late American mathematician, Katherine Johnson. I gotta find the bad guy to make sure he's gonna go to school. Have you seen the bad guy? Well, children, I had to go get the bad guy and Reggie to make sure that Reggie doesn't go to school. Don't you want to see Reggie stay here with me inside my townhouse, inside my house here in Harlem, so no one can find him, so he can just stay at home, not know anything. Don't you think that's nice? He's going to be eating cookies, candy, and all types of goodies. Yeah, I think it's good. Don't you? Okay, everybody. I did find my good friend Reggie, and I spoke to him about going to school and the importance of that. Now, as I was speaking about HBCUs, I want you to remember that that's an African American institution that can help you. And if that's something you want to do when you go to college, is go to an HBCU, that would be a great thing. But you got to start now by going to school. And that's what I'm going to get Reggie to do. And I understand, after speaking with him, that he was hanging out with the bad guy and Professor Beauregard Howard. Oh, boy. And Professor Beauregard Howard's really not the nicest person in the world. But, just don't, if you see Professor Beauregard Howard, don't hang out with him, okay? So, Reggie, let's go and get you ready for school. Okay, everybody. Well, today we learned about HBCUs, and like we said, HBCU, who are you? They're historically black colleges and universities, and it's not a person like my good friend, news reporter Jack thought. But I want you to know that school's very important. And one reason school's very important is because it helps you combat something so that you can become literate. You don't want to be illiterate. To be illiterate means that you can't read and you can't write. That's not a good thing. We want you to be able to learn and to grow. And you can't learn about Jesus if you can't read the Bible. So, make certain that you go to school so you can learn how to read and write, and that way you'll be able to grow. And you'll be what God wants you to be, and you can live life to your fullest potential. I'll see you guys next time.